Welcome to New Gameplay Today. I'm Kyle Hilliard here with Marcus Stewart.
Hey, sponsored by Unreal Engine.
That's right, and there's a Night Dive logo right there in the distance, and I'm here with Wesley LeBlanc. What's up, Wes?
Hello, hello. This game looks familiar.
Yeah, well, it does not to me, because I didn't play System Shock Remake when it came out last year for PC, but I have now played the console version. This is the Xbox Series X version of the System Shock Remake, which is a game I forever lives on my backlog list, right? I've always been meaning to dive into the world of System Shock and never have. Like most, my first, interaction with, I guess you could call them the Shock games, was Bioshock. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat.
Yeah. I have this remake also in my backlog, and I also have the original System Shock and System Shock 2 in my backlog on PC, and have just never made time for them. So Bioshock is my entry into the Shock games. I don't like saying that.
No, yeah, I don't. That's not what other people call them.
When I said this looked familiar, it's not because I've played System Shock. It is also on my backlog. It is because I have played another Shock game where you start in a city with neon and you are kind of floating through. Well, I guess you're in the air, not underwater. But this looks like Bioshock.
Yeah. It is, yeah, and it's interesting to play it because because I've played Bioshock. There's so much where I'm like, oh, this is where Bioshock got it from. You know what I mean? It's like it almost like retroactively makes Bioshock less impactful in a weird way, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is where this started. But to be fair though, that opening scene that we just watched, moving through the city and diving into this apartment and stuff like that, that was all just a sort of a small little cutscene in the original game. This whole sequence, walking around your apartment, as near as I can tell, was just a cutscene. So this is all added stuff for the remake.
Okay. So how much have you played so far, and do you think, based on what you've played, does this make you want to go back and play the original System Shock?
Well, I mean, it makes me want to play this one, right? I've played about 45 minutes or so, and I don't really want to go back and play the original, but this is interesting, and in fact, we'll jump ahead here to get you into the space station, so you can kind of see more of what the actual gameplay is.
Are those Watchmen donuts? What are those, smiley face donuts? The blood
I
stain
guess so.
on
They
it?
got strawberry jelly on them.
Yeah, it's
So the thing we skipped over, guys, in terms of the story was you're a hacker, you're in your apartment, you're trying to hack this thing, and the cops show up and they steal you away, and they take you to this space station, and there's a guy in charge who's like, hey, if you can help us hack, the AI that's in control of the space station, we'll let you go, we'll let you off the hook. And then you kind of do that, you do something like that, and then you wake up. This is you just waking up and starting the game proper.
okay.
And this is one of those moments where I was like, oh,
The pipe.
Bioshock. Yeah. Okay, that's where, where they got that from. Which is something I always knew. It's not like I'm learning this necessarily. I've always known that Bioshock was a System Shock successor, but it's still fascinating to just kind of see it oh, this is where it came from. That kind of thing.
Sure. I mean, that's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like Bioshock straight up copied System Shock. Ken Levine has. He was the, I want to say, lead designer on System Shock 2. So he's lifting elements of a series he loves and started something new with it. But it is so funny to see it. It's literally a pipe, which is what you get in Bioshock.
Yeah. Which is it's intentional on the Levine's part of we're gonna sort of cite System Shock on purpose, but we are making something unique and different, and I think they were successful in that.
Yeah, it's funny because he's coming back around to this with Judas, which is going back to this style but in sci-fi again.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big fan of these Shock games, as we've recently dubbed them.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought we call them narrative Legos now.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a narrative Lego singular, actually.
True. Capital L.
This is also like we were talking at the time that where this video publishes, it won't have been back to back, but we just recorded something where we were talking about Elder Scrolls a lot, and this was giving me Elder Scrolls vibes of just like, I'm gonna pick up everything. Yep. I don't know what this stuff is. I'm just gonna grab it. Yep.
Hey, you never know. You might need that little cat dish that you picked up, whatever that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody might ask for that. Yeah, I love the way this game looks. Like Night Dive has really been good at like remastering or remaking classic games. Like they're kind of like, I don't want to say unsung heroes, but in terms of just like, I guess in a sense of like game preservation or just like bringing these old games with new audience. Like they did the Star Wars Dark Forces remaster not that long ago. I don't know why you're beating up Alpha from Power Rangers there, but
he hit me first. I didn't. I went in there with friendly intention, and then they attacked me.
And I said, "Ay, coming at you." But yeah, I when they announced this project, I was super excited because again, it's like, oh, this is such a cool way to reintroduce System Shock, or for an older audience, and also introduce it in general to maybe people like us, or just even younger people than us that only know of Bioshock, which at this point is a series that has been around or been away for a while too.
Yeah, that's true.
Over a decade. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth looking up what the original game looked like, because this is a significant upgrade. Like, this is a proper full remake. Like, I was, not to use the word shock again unnecessarily, but I was kind of shocked looking at the two side by side. Like, it is significant.
Yeah, they worked on this for a long time. I remember like just writing
it's been around
about it for a minute. And then
it was like this and System Shock 3 were both floating around at the same time from different developers. And the System Shock 3, or System Shock 3 in general, that still has no release window or maybe even signs of life.
And Other Side Entertainment were working on it, but I think, I'm looking, in 2022 I wrote a story that says they haven't worked on System Shock 3 in 3 years, which would have been 2019 at the time, so I don't think we're getting System Shock 3, which is, Ken Levine said, I got you. Let me just release Judas real quick. That's your System Shock 3.
Real quick. Let me just knock this out. Let me send a few emails here. We should be
fast
good to go.
at developing games, Ken Levine and his studio.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, it's almost kind of wild that Judas will likely come out before System Shock 3. I don't know if I would have called that personally.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean...
This is a good example of, the old school gameplay of it all. Is like, I actually I have a keypad, I have the code, but I do have to go look at the document and read it, and it's not highlighted, right? I just have to like read the first sentence and be like, okay, there's the code. It's just like very, very old school, in kind of a fun way.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've heard about the remake too, is that this game is very old school, like almost to the point of being pretty difficult. And I've heard some pushback from people where it's like, you either love that or you don't. Like, some people that maybe grew up with this game, or just more, I guess, more tolerant or willing to put up with sort of its intentional old school stuff, or like kind of down for it. But I've also heard some fans that maybe came to this for the first time, or just don't want to deal with the sort of more that sort of like kind of challenge where it's sort of like, I don't know if I can stick with this. I know you haven't played enough to sort of like fall on either side of the fence, Kyle, but have you run into a lot of that?
I mean, speaking of difficult challenges, I just turned away from this hacking game, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do this right now. And then
you don't like these hacking games?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said I just wasn't ready to engage with it.
Okay, I was going to say, these are fun in Bioshock.
It also looks very familiar, yeah. This is something I didn't know about System Shock, and this is a new, that's what Bioshock is doing moment for me.
Right, yeah, and it was fun to have a lot of those moments. But Marcus, to answer your question, I did die like a few times getting into combat, which again, let's actually jump ahead to when I finally find a gun, and then we can show off a little bit of that gameplay. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually like good, I don't know, 25 minutes into my gameplay session where I found a gun. Which is like kind of surprising that it took me that long to find a gun.
Did you do that? Is this your work? Everything that we're seeing here, is this what it took to get a gun? Just mutilating those guys?
I did. I came into this room and there was like a monster in there, and I hit him with a pipe and then picked up the gun. But like he had done a lot of the damage already. To be fair.
Okay. So they weren't pushing the gun in a baby carriage.
No. That's that was a Bioshock original.
Well, speaking of shock, I was shooting lightning at you. It looked like.
Yeah, and then you have an inventory. I kept trying to pick up his gun, but because I picked up all those stupid ashtrays earlier, I couldn't pick up the gun.
So does this have like the kind of horror-esque feel that Bioshock does? Like Bioshock is scary.
Absolutely. I mean, you are in a there's a lot of neon lights, but it's dark, like a darkened space station.
Yeah.
And there's monsters. There's like zombies. Like Shodan, the AI in the facility, has like created these like zombies and is like experimenting on humans. Like that's what's gotten out of control here, you know? So there is definitely it's a little dated, right? This is a remake with modern visuals, but like it still feels a little like 90s horror kind of. So I'm not like necessarily like running in fear from the monsters, but like, you know, there are doors that open and there'll suddenly be a monster there. And then when you die, as I've done here, the ending cutscene is pretty horrifying.
Oh, what's happening here? Is this shit? Oh,
Which is like this is like some weird creepy stuff. Yeah, that's me. And Shodan, the AI, is like taking my body and inserting it into a robot. I'm grateful you decided to make this choice and join me. I promise your body will be used effectively.
That's a cool hat that you got there.
Yeah, as a cyborg, you will serve Shodan well.
I love that. That's sick.
But yeah, that is, what is this game called? It's called System Shock. It's just called System Shock, but it is System Shock Remake. Like, it is a full remake of that original game. And it's, I really liked what I played, especially just from an educational perspective of, like, seeing what this game looked like and what it was. And it feels modern in the right ways, in the sense that, like, if I want to experience the System Shock story, I can do it without too many hurdles. You know, as opposed to playing the original game. So I'm impressed by it. And I know it's been out for a while on PC, but it's nice to have the console option here pretty soon.
Yeah, I like watching you play this has bumped it up the queue, because I've owned the Steam version for a while, but you know, now it's just like, man, I should really just jump into this at some point.
Yeah. Which you can do on consoles on May 21st. Is when this game will be coming. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks, Wes. Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah, thanks for having us.